Out we go. You need to throw the punches. Your stance must be right, or as your pivot. Start off with your pivot, get on your pivot, and it's light. The jab goes like this. This is exactly how the jab goes. Jab.
Good punch. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather recently visited Terence Crawford's training camp, offering key advice on defeating Canelo Alvarez. Drawing from his own 2013 victory over Canelo, Mayweather emphasized the importance of speed, sharp defense, and accurate counterpunching to expose Alvarez's vulnerabilities. His visit provided valuable tactical insight, potentially giving Crawford an edge as he prepares for this major challenge. With Mayweather's guidance, Crawford aims to overcome the size and power advantage Canelo brings to the ring.
You bring the hook with it. You can go to the body. Jab. Just double jab. Triple jab.
At a recent press conference, Canelo Alvarez didn't shy away from critiquing Terence Crawford's career. He asserted that Crawford has yet to face any truly elite-level opponents, implying that the level of competition Crawford has encountered doesn't compare to what Canelo brings to the table. Confident in his experience and accomplishments, Canelo framed himself as a different caliber of fighter, one Crawford has never encountered. His comments weren't merely boastful. They serve as a psychological strategy to plant seeds of doubt and apply mental pressure on his opponent. Canelo's remarks also reinforce his standing as a seasoned champion with a legacy few can match.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level.
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since
Everybody.
2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me
2002.
one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look.
It's gonna be me.
I don't
and
care
you
about
will.
anybody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stuff a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Things and everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stuff a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Max Kellerman offered a sharp breakdown of the matchup, praising Terence Crawford's jab as one of the most effective weapons in boxing today. He pointed out that while Canelo Alvarez once had a similarly crisp jab, it has declined over time, giving Crawford a noticeable advantage in speed and precision. Kellerman also emphasized Crawford's high-level ring IQ, suggesting it could pose serious challenges for Canelo, who tend to rely more on his natural size and punching power. The analysis highlights how superior technique and strategy could ultimately outweigh physical strength in this compelling showdown.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size. Size and, as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. A great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Nico Ali Walsh, grandson of Muhammad Ali, has publicly expressed his support for Terence Crawford. He praised Crawford's character, discipline, and exceptional skills in the ring, calling him a fighter worthy of greatness. Ali's endorsement goes beyond admiration. It reflects a deep respect Crawford commands within the boxing world, especially from those tied to legendary legacies. His words highlight Crawford's growing influence and the legacy he's building through talent, dedication, and integrity.
With Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything, he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades.
Canelo Alvarez has acknowledged Terence Crawford's abilities with professionalism and respect. He remarked that at the elite level, weight class has become less important, as true professionals know how to adapt. Canelo emphasized his commitment to preparing with full intensity, recognizing that defeating Crawford will require more than just natural size and power. His comments reflect a deep respect for Crawford's skills and understanding that this fight would demand top-tier conditioning, focus, and strategic execution from both men.
Guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
If you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why it made me shameless. But I've been in key situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that. I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything.
Showbiz the adult offer a balanced take on the upcoming clash. He praised Canelo Alvarez's physical strength and the intensity of his training, noting how these traits fuel his dominance in the ring. At the same time, he acknowledged Terence Crawford's unique ability to read and counter opponents, an edge shaped by his wrestling background, which enhances both his defense and offense. Still, Showbiz concluded that Canelo's greater experience and natural size advantage gave him a slight edge in this high-stakes matchup.
And Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bibble like Bibble was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. You look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff was painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it. But he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now let me know how you feel in the comments below. Ring the zone, war room.
Jarrell Miller shared his hopes for Crawford's success in the upcoming fight, emphasizing the champion's hunger and determination. He downplayed concerns about the size difference, insisting that a highly motivated fighter can overcome physical disadvantages. Miller believes that heart and willpower often make the biggest difference in major bouts, and sees Crawford's mindset as a key factor that could lead him to victory against a larger, more experienced Canelo Alvarez.
Huge fight September 13th. Who do you think's going to win that?
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people underestimated his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see though. But I like both guys, but I'm a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford can take it.
Many analysts emphasize that strategy will be crucial for Terence Crawford in this high-stakes bout. This isn't just another fight. It's a defining opportunity that could cement his legacy. Defeating a champion like Canelo Alvarez would silence critics and secure Crawford's place among boxing's all-time greats. To do so, he must depend on his intelligence in the ring, avoiding reckless exchanges, and focusing on a game plan rooted in precision, patience, and adaptability.
Understands that he has to be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before, because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's Crawford. You know, so I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. The dog is, you know, you gotta work his way up to the dog. Hey, show the clip real quick. I don't know if you showed it already, but this is the dog you're talking about right here, right? And so this is, I pulled this clip right here. I seen it on social media this morning.
Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
And I pulled this clip, right? But this is Terence.
That's who he is.
He's not gonna swing on Canelo. He already know that part of the game. But what I asked you, were you ever trying to send a message to your opponents? He's letting you know, and it's no act. And that's what I really wanted to show, is that's not an act.
No.
That's not, there's 30 security guards.
It feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Hey, I don't fight as good as you guys. I had to learn some big words, right, to make up for that.
Don't look it up. Just ignore.
You need big words to get out of fights. You know, you need big words to get out of fights. But you know, okay. So case in point, our guy Hafey, sitting right there, producer extraordinaire. He had a picture of Terence Crawford in New York.
Crawford's ambition is undeniable, as he's willing to take bold risks by pursuing a knockout against a larger, stronger Canelo Alvarez. His previous success at 154 pounds shows his ability to adapt to bigger challenges, while moving up to 168 is a significant leap. Crawford's skill set, ring IQ, and past performances suggest he's well prepared and won't be out of his depth in this high-stakes showdown.
Taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweights. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys. It's really something amazing for Bud if he's able to pull this off.
Edgar Berlanga shared a supportive view of Crawford's mindset heading into the fight, advising him to stay true to the style and strategy that brought him success rather than overcompensating for the size gap. Berlanga emphasized that moving up 2 weight classes makes the bout a more level playing field. His remarks underlined that, regardless of the result, Crawford is showing tremendous courage and a desire to challenge himself at the sport's highest level.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a 2-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know, there's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in a fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a foot of power. I'm a foot of that size difference, you know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? He's testing himself. Testing himself a great fighter. So. And I don't doubt him, you know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason, so, you know, and I don't think nothing's gonna phase him in that fight, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out, so, he just gotta go in there just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it, you know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size and, you know, obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys, you know? So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Gareth A. Davies and Duke McKenzie discuss the importance of the upcoming bout, agreeing it's one of the most significant matchups in modern boxing. In an era where elite fighters often avoid each other, this showdown between 2 of the sport's best is a rare and thrilling event. They highlighted how fans crave these moments, when greatness faces greatness and legacies are defined in the ring. A major point in Crawford's favor, they noted, is his exceptional ability to make smart in-fight adjustments. His skill in reading opponents and shifting tactics mid-bout has earned him widespread respect. This adaptability has helped him dismantle highly skilled fighters and control the pace of his contests. Against someone as experienced and powerful as Canelo, Crawford's strategic intelligence will be key to gaining an edge and possibly securing victory.
This is a feud fight that's coming up. I really like Terence Crawford. I think, you know, we were talking about coaches breaking down film. I think that Terence does a good job of at breaking his opponent down in the fight. I think that he does a good job of adjusting. I do think that, you know, Canelo is a big feat ahead of him, because I also like Canelo. Like, it's kind of one of those things, like, who do I like for the night? It's going to be a really good fight. I like both of them. I think that, you know, that is something that I think women's boxing does a good job of, is putting on fights like that. Like, we'll fight whoever. So I think it's cool to see the men starting to do more of that, like it has short has always been.
I'm saying this is different, and I'm giving myself a 70% chance, which is why I'm doing it. It is not because I'm bigger than him and this is easy and I'm stronger than him actually and people don't understand that I'm more skillful. No, he's a beast, and this has never been done, and this is not a sure thing, and that's why I'm so eager to do it. That's the definition of greatness. That's why he should be on the Mount Rushmore if he accomplishes it. That's why Terence Crawford is great.
Tim Sayu offered a candid perspective on the build-up to the fight, highlighting the tactical dynamics at play. He pointed out that while Canelo Alvarez's style can become predictable, it presents openings for a highly intelligent fighter like Terence Crawford to exploit. Sayu also noted that much of the pre-fight tension is more about building hype than true animosity. His belief in Crawford's chances underscores a preference for skill over size. Crawford, fully aware of what's at stake, has acknowledged that this fight could define his legacy for years to come. By stepping up to face a larger, elite opponent, he's embracing a moment that could elevate him to legendary status, or result in a major setback. This awareness of the fight's historical significance adds even more weight and pressure to an already monumental showdown.
Made him this great. Do you think that this is a similar thing for your fight now at this point in your career, stepping up and facing someone like Canelo? Does this kind of make you unbeatable and this figure that will just go down in history?
I don't know. I don't know about comparing it to his situation, but it will be a situation where I'll be talked about for many decades to come, and definitely go down in the history books as one of the best fighters to ever lace up the glove.
Terence Crawford has voiced cautious optimism about his chances, estimating a 70% likelihood of victory. His self-assessment reflects a confident yet realistic mindset, acknowledging the challenge of facing a seasoned and larger opponent like Canelo. Crawford's belief in his preparation and skill underscores his readiness for the biggest test of his career.